everybody, it's Maria, and today's Friday, and I'm excited because I tell you, it just worked out this way that I got this package in the mail today and I'm off today. So how cool is that? I was doing some errands, I came back home and this is what I found on my deck. So I let it sit for a little while because it's a little cold here, but I don't think it was sitting very long because the box is room temperature right now. So I feel confident that I can open it up and the instrument will be fine. Because just as a little tip, whenever you get a wood instrument, if the temperature is either too extreme, as in too cold or too hot, you really should wait several hours for the instrument to acclimate itself to, or the box even, to acclimate itself to room temperature. And if it's for instance, like a guitar with a solid top, they say even sometimes 24 hours, depending. So this is not that. This is a little harp that was sent to me by Aklot. They've been an awesome company to work with, and thankfully things are improving in China with the coronavirus, and I was told they are back to work now. And so they reached out and told me they were going to send me this really cool 15-string harp. I've done a video in the past of a lyre harp that was 16 steel strings, and it was more of a lap harp. This looks more like a traditional harp. They are calling it a lyre harp, and they may have something to do with the way it's tuned. So this harp is tuned from F to F, and there are no sharps or flats. So I believe that would be the key of F mixolydian. But we're going to check all that out after we open it, or after I open it, and we get to see together what this looks like. So here we go. Comes in with a gig bag, which is really great because a lot of these instruments, including the last lyre harp that I unboxed and played by Aklot, they can be used for therapy. So they give you an extra set of strings, which is great to have. The very important tuning wrench. And a strap. Now, I don't know if this is a strap for the harp or for the case. I'm thinking it's for the case. I mean, for the harp. Because, yeah, this is a strap for the harp. Awesome. So it must have strap buttons. That's a plus too. So if you were walking around, you could play it. Not many of you know that I worked in a nursing home for 10 years, way back from my mid-20s to 30s before I started having my children, or actually a little bit while I was having them. And I used to be a wandering minstrel, and I would go from room to room with my guitar. And this was way before I discovered all these really cool instruments. So I'm sure these would be very well received. Okay, so it's got a nice strap to hold it. Probably could put it, on your shoulder. I'm not going to do it now because I unzipped it. It says Aklot, place to put your wrench. Okay. I would leave the strap on it because there's plenty of room in this bag. Oh, it's way lighter than you would think from the package. Very cool. Okay, so this is Aklot on the bag that is molded case. Wow, this is just as pretty as the Lyre harp mahogany. It was solid mahogany as well, and this is solid mahogany too. I guess we'll start with the front. You would play it against your chest, and which is really nice because you get the benefit of feeling the vibrations as well as the person who may benefit from hearing the beautiful music. These strings are color coded. So the Fs, normally the Fs are green and the Cs are red. So this is a little different than a traditional harp. Sometimes they're blue and red. But this is F green. Again, this is probably not tuned, and I will shut the video and tune it because it's a little monotonous. I'll show you how it's tuned, but in order to tune it, it'll take a little bit of time. And again, just so you know, the strings need time to stretch. So don't be alarmed if it doesn't sound quite so lovely the first days, or two that you get it. Even it could be weeks depending on how often you play the harp. The more you play an instrument that has strings, the more quickly it will stay in tune and sound beautiful. So anyway, I believe this is F, G, A, B. So you have the F and the B are green, C, D, E, F. This is red. So this is a little strange for me. I'm not quite sure what the reason is for these colors, or what the reason, I'm really not sure. I have to be honest with you. So I will have to do a little research and see what they show in the photograph as far as the color, and also in the extra set of strings. Because if I'm correct to assume what I read on the website, that it's tuned F to F, it would be F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. So we have a little bit of confusion in my mind as to why some Fs are green and some C's are red, but some are green. So that's my only confusion. I will try to get to the bottom of this, perhaps before I put the video back on to play you something. It really doesn't matter for the beauty of the sound, and if you improvise, I would say the only reason it might get a little confusing is if you are reading music and you wanted to know quickly what note you're at. And that, I believe, is the reason why traditional harps have it color-coded. So you always kind of know where the Fs are and where the Cs are, so you can locate the notes more quickly around them. So, having said that, let's just keep looking at the harp itself. It's very light, as I said. You can't see that from the video, but I have bad hands and I have no problem holding it with my bad hand. And there are 2 sound holes. And I believe let's make sure it stands. No, does it stand? Yes, very cool. So it does stand. I have a full-size harp that actually needs a stand in order to stand. That's really cool. So it could be decorative too. You can put it in your house and it looks really pretty, and you don't have to put it away. So sometimes I find that if I have instruments that are out, I play them more often than the ones that I have to, dig out of their cases. So I think that's really cool. This is your strap button here and your strap button here. And I'll put the strap on, try to show you again after I shut off the video to tune it. And these are your tuning pegs. So just like the other harp, which is the one that laid flat, you tune it the same way. You take this and put it in. It's a specially made, specially made wrench, okay, for these type of harps. Or lyre harps, and you could tune it this way, which is tightening it. This is tightening it to the left. To the right would be to loosen it, and it's consistent across the board. And you would use I'll grab a tuner that you can clip on, and this is thin enough where you could clip it on. Clip it on here, and as you're moving along, you are moving the tuner so that it can feel the vibration of the string. That's how those clip-on tuners work. Unlike other tuners which you can get, which use a microphone. And that's something I also want to share with you. But I have the phone recording this video. But just so you know, there is an app that Aklot puts out that you can use to tune their instruments, and that uses the microphone on your phone. And you just hold it close to the string, pluck the string, and the microphone will pick up the sound of the string and let you know whether it's sharp or flat. Sharp is when it's too high above the pitch, and flat is when it's below the pitch. If you think of a flat tire, loses air and gets lower, that's how you could kind of remember about the string. And I took that idea from Desi Cerna. I just want to give him props. He's a guitar teacher that I'm reading his book on fretboard theory. So just want to let you know that I took that idea, but it works really well as a visual aid in thinking about how to tune these instruments. So I think that's about all I have to say about the harp itself. There's a little Aklot logo here, but unobtrusive, and I really think it's really smooth. You know, they do a nice job in workmanship. I have to say, I'm very impressed with the workmanship, the way they pack it, the care they take, and to include everything you would need to get started. And you shouldn't feel intimidated if you are new to music, if you are new to instruments, if you're new to lyre harps or harps. This is where you begin. It's just experimentation. Honestly, I think it's just like with computers. I do a lot with programs and music programs, and I've helped a lot of people out in getting started with certain programs and how to use the computer. And they get so nervous because they think they touch something and they're going to make a mistake. And believe me, you know, there's always an undo button on a computer. And here, you know, you can always restring it if you pop it. You can always get a new string. If it doesn't sound good, you go back to it the next day, try again. So just have fun with it. I think that's, you know, my biggest conviction is, you know, they say play music for a reason. You know, when you're a child and you play, or you play a game, you enjoy it. So enjoy whatever you do with music, and don't be intimidated, and don't let anybody ever tell you you're too old to do something, because that is very untrue. In fact, my late mother was way past her 50s when she took up oil painting, and then she went into watercolors, and my house is filled with all of her beautiful paintings that I cherish so much. So please don't be intimidated. Just get started. So I'll see you in a little bit with the tuning after it's tuned, and we'll see how it sounds. My dog is wondering what is going on. She always wonders what I'm doing when I'm talking to myself. Right, Billy? She's going to be 18 in 2 short months. Okay. Hey everybody, it's Maria again, and I just wanted to let you know that I put the strap on. It's very comfortable. It's a very lightweight harp, and I would have no problem walking around with this, and it doesn't feel, you know, like it's too heavy on my shoulders or anything. It's very comfortable. I'm wearing it over my left shoulder. You obviously could wear it over your right shoulder, depending on how you wanted the harp to lean and how you wanted to play it, I suppose. I'm a guitar player, generally speaking, or a ukulele player, so I like to have my chords in my left hand. I'm just used to that, and do a little of the picking with my right hand. So that's how come I put it this way. But again, there are no rules. So you can play it however you would like. Now, the other thing I did is I tuned it, and I found out the correct tuning is not F to F, as I mentioned earlier in the video. It's C to C. And the only reason I thought it was F to F was because on Amazon and the description, on the specifications, they have it listed as F to F. So I've let Aklot know that. But on the pictures and the photographs that they've provided, you can clearly see the harp and see that it's C to C. And it's C4 to C6. And that just means the different pitches. So on the piano, middle C is C3, and everything to the right of it goes up, everything to the left of it goes down. So this would be like starting an octave higher than middle C on the piano and going to C6. And so the tones ring out very nicely. I'll let you hear it. And again, I only tuned it for, 20, 30 minutes, kept going back and forth, retuning it, but it's going to take a lot longer to stay in tune, and that's totally normal. So let's just, just so I can do the demonstration, let you hear how they sound. So this is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. I don't know if you noticed, I have the tuner I was speaking about. It's not from Aklot, they just put it there. It's a tuner, who is it by? They have the name on the website. It's by EUM, and they have other tuners. In fact, I bought one of their other tuners, but this is a free one, and you could just follow the links on the Aklot description in Amazon, and you can get this tuner. It's called INS tuner, and it's for iPhone or iPad, doesn't matter, and it works really nicely. As you could see, it tells you if you need to tune up or down. So you can see it's a little off already because it needs to stretch. Okay, so I just wanted to share with you INS tuner that you can download and put on your phone, or you can put it on your iPad. Also, one more thing about the case. I noticed there is a nice little inside pocket, and that's great. So you could put your tuner and your extra strings and not have to worry that it's going to fall out of the outside pocket, which is kind of nice to have too. So there you go. Just wanted to tell you about that. What else did I want to tell you? Oh, another thing I wanted to share with you is that I did some research on the color coordination, and I was correct in that normally harps are tuned where all the C strings, C tones would be red, and all of the F tones would be either blue or green. This has it mixed up, so I put a query also to Aklot to try to find out their thinking, or if that might have just been an error and they can correct that with any other harps they send out. So you can see that this is C, D, E, F. So this I would normally think would be either this color or blue, and this I would think would be red. And so C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. This C would be red, which it is, but then this F I would think would be blue or green, and this C is correct, or the way I would normally see it on a harp. And I think that it's important if you're learning to play from harp books, normally nylon stringed harps, you're following that to kind of give your eye some guidance as to where you are when you look at all these strings. So, having said that, how does it sound? I go where he leads me. I don't know the time or the place, I don't have a map or a flashlight. All I need is his light to show the way. Well, thanks for watching, everybody, and I hope that if you get this harp, that it brings you a lot of pleasure, and perhaps you'll even use it to visit people and give the pleasure to them. And it's very healing, this type of music, both for the player and hopefully for the listener too. Be well. Thank you. And thank you, Aklot. This is wonderful.